Hello, welcome to Do It Yourself with Wayne. Have you ever needed to engrave your contact information or your name or something on some item for security or whatever purposes? Well, today we're going to do a product review on a tool that can do those things for you. This is a cordless engraving pen made by Tool Solutions. It says it can engrave on plastic, wood, glass, and metal. And today we're going to take it out of the package and we're going to try it on these different types of materials and see how well it engraves. Also, if you would be interested in purchasing one of these, we'll have a link in our description where you can purchase it. And also, put a picture up here in the corner of the front of the package, but we'll also scan the front and the back and any other documentation that may be in here, and we'll post that on our website if you're interested in reading more about the product. And that website address is diywithwayne.com. There'll also be a link in the description to that. So let's open the package and see what's in here. Now, after I've opened the package, and you can see the back end of my cat here. His name is Tater. He may venture back in a little bit and he may not. You just never know. There's no documentation other than the card that came in the package. But like I said, I will scan both sides of that and put it on my website, diywithwayne.com. I was pleasantly surprised that it comes with batteries already installed. That's pretty cool. But you do have this little piece of plastic on the top of the batteries that you have to remove in order for them to work. So basically, the top part, you hold the blue, the white, you twist it counterclockwise, it'll come apart. You take that little piece of insulating material out, and then you put it back together, something like that. You should be able to hear that when you mash the button on the side. It runs. Alright, now let's try it out and see how it works. Now let's move on to testing this engraving pen. I got different types of materials here. I'm going to start with the wooden handle of this rubber mallet. Then I'm going to do plastic on this plastic case. I'm going to do aluminum. Then I'm going to do the metal on a tool. And last I'm going to do glass. And I chose them kind of in the sequence of what I think would be the most difficult to engrave to the least difficult to the most difficult. So anyway, let's start with the wooden handle here on my rubber mallet. Okay, that worked very well, but I expected it to work well on the wood. Alright, let's move on to the plastic. This is just a plastic case on a little pack of small screwdrivers. Now, I did a little testing before this, and one thing I noticed, if I hold the pen like this at an angle to the tool, it tended to want to vibrate and run down to the bottom left. If you hold the pen straight up against the item, it seems to be easier to control. Alright, let's try it here. Okay, plastic, it works fine. But here again, as I said, when I was holding the pen at an angle, it was harder to control. If I hold it straight up and down, it seems to work better. So let's try it on this aluminum here. Well, that works, but it's definitely a shallow engraving, but it does engrave on the aluminum. A little more difficult to control here than on the wood or the plastic. It takes a little getting used to, but it does work. All right, let's try the metal on this wrench and see how it does on this. Okay, it did engrave that. I did the smooth part. Now I tried earlier back in here where it's a little bit rougher, and it did engrave there, but you couldn't tell it. It was so slight you couldn't even tell there's any engraving there. It does make a rather shallow engraving. Alright, now let's try it on the glass and see how it works here. Okay, it does work on the glass too. I think as the materials get harder, it's more difficult to control the pen. So, make sure you got a good steady hand when you're trying to do this. And like I said, hold the pen straight up and down, perpendicular or whatever, to whatever you're trying to engrave. It seems to work a little easier. But the engraving is rather shallow. Now, I have an old engraving pen that I've probably had for 40 years. Couldn't tell you the last time I used it, but I do know for a fact that when I engrave stuff with it, it engraves deeper. Now this can go deeper if you just work back and forth over what you're trying to engrave, but it does give you a rather shallow engraving. And so for my final review, I would have to say it works. I don't think it's a high quality tool. It's not very expensive. I think it's probably not going to last very long, but if you don't have very many items to engrave, it might work just fine for you. I would give it an okay rating. Like I said, I don't think it would last a long time, but if you don't have a lot to engrave, it may very well work just fine for you. So anyway, with that said, I'd just like to say thank you for visiting. Do It Yourself with Wayne. I really appreciate it. If you like our videos, share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us grow. So thank you for visiting, and we hope you have a great day.